Hey, so going to do a short video on the new Guristas Hunt content. I've been seeing a lot of questions in one of my corporations, people getting confused on the difference between kind of the combat, the exploration sites, hunting down the colored egg, so I thought I would do something that clarifies it and shows a little bit of what I've been doing. So I've been running specifically the combat sites, not the exploration ones, and so what's involved with that is that you've got to hunt down the mysterious capsules, little colored capsules. You find those on D-scan by an orbital body. So those give you this hunt key that unlocks the acceleration gate. And then the combat site is not a signature that you probe down. The combat site is actually an anomaly. It shows up on your probe scanner as an anomaly, the Guristas Hunt Outpost site. So you go, you run that site, and the first pocket, and I'm going to show you a video of all this as just a quick summary, is actually quite difficult because every frigate can potentially web scram and newt you, and so you do need to have a salty fit that can handle it. I've personally been running this Abyssal T2 fit Hawk, which I know is not easy to skill into since it's Tech 2, but it's been handling it with a breeze. So I've been running Tech 2 launchers with precision missiles since we're fighting mostly frigates and destroyers. I've got an active shield boost, an afterburner, some cat batteries, a multi-spectrum shield hardener, and then 2 ballistic control systems. And then these are really just to help us fit it. Once I simulate this fit, you'll see we've got pretty good effective hit points and resist profile, and we do 157 DPS, which is plenty adequate to take out the spawns in these sites. And so this fit's been working really well. I got a wondrous loot surprise yesterday. If you look here, this black market Valdemar dropped in, I think, the 4th site I run, which if you look here, the estimated price is 1.5 billion ISK. So that's the big loot. You want to try to hope and get that. I lucked out and did it. Other than that, I got some Guristas missiles, a bunch of Overseer's effects, and then you see in my thing here today, I've got a booster, another Overseer's, and some miserable little fireworks. So that's what you can look forward to, and I'm going to show you a video here. I'm going to speed up the gameplay footage of me going through and hunting an egg and then running a site. So essentially I run around system to system and just D-scan at max range, trying to see when a mysterious colored capsule shows up on the D-scan, and then once I find one, like I've seen here, I just slowly lower my D-scan range until it falls off, and so then I can know that, okay, well, it's further away than that, so I go back up one, so I can narrow down and say, okay, how many AUs away from it am I? I open up my F9 solar screen map, and then I try to pinpoint at least the cluster of orbitals that it's at, and usually there's not too many, so I can just go from one to the other and kind of hop through them, and eventually I'll see where it's at, and then you just quickly target it, you shoot it, and that's pretty much it. Pretty simple. So okay, so in this case I already have the key from finding the capsule. I fly around, found the Guristas Hunt Outpost site. You'll see it's an anom showing up, so you warp to it at 0. You'll land on grid, and after you do the acceleration gate, there's a beacon. So I've just been orbiting at 500 on the beacon, turning my AB on, and when the first wave hits, I'll typically pulse my booster, just since that's when the most damage is coming in. And the frigate's all web you, so you're going to get damage applied to you, so you do need to be tanky. I've been targeting and taking out the frigs first. Some of like the Condors and the Kestrels are typically 2 volleys of missiles, so I'll just fire 2 and then deactivate so that I can more quickly retarget and activate again. Then in between waves, I've been typically reloading, since you do have a really long reload time with light missile launchers, but you've got enough time in between waves, so I've been going ahead and doing that. Again, you'll see, so just pulsing the booster when I need to, and main thing that I would note is that these sites are decently difficult since everything web scrams and newts you, so you do need to have a pretty solid tank fit. I am cap stable on this fit, but I still don't like to just run the booster all the time since I am being nuded. It's not a super strong nude, but just to be safe. So again, you'll see I'm targeting frigates, then destroyer, then cruisers, which I think is just good to try to reduce the damage to you as quick as you can. I've run a fair number of sites, so I was just kind of checking and showing there. I'm pretty close to unlocking the first skin for the worm. I wish it was a skin for the hawk since that's what I'm doing these in, but I guess I could try loading up a worm fit to do it and run it with the skin that I'm about to get. You also notice I've been running the D-scan. I keep checking that every so often. I'll typically reduce the range to about 5 AU. And what I'm doing with that is I'm looking to see if any potential competition is going to come into the site to try to run it with me. These sites do get competitive sometimes. I saw someone warp in there, and so what I started doing is I started pre-approaching the gate so that I would be able to hopefully beat them in. Luckily, you saw that he actually warped off and wasn't going to try to compete me for this final boss. But inside the last room, which you need the key for, is the boss, and this is the one that drops the loot. So loot him up and see what you got. But that's pretty much it for the Guristas Hunt Outpost site.